In this video, real quick, folks, I want to talk to you real quick about where you come from. Where you come from. That's where are you from? Like knowing where you come from, right? And esoterically knowing where you come from, right? And you're going to hear that word esoterically used a lot in my videos. Like, that's that word esoteric is it's the launching pad, right? It's the foundation on which I'm trying to open up eyes and open my own eyes. So esoterically, where do you come from, right? But before we talk about esoterically, let's talk about naturally. Naturally, where do you come from, right? If somebody asks you where you come from, somebody asks me where I come from, I can say, I was born in Jamaica, so I'm Jamaican. I come from Jamaica, or they could say, I was born in Brooklyn, so I'm from Brooklyn. You can say I was born in Queens, so I'm from Queens. Manhattan, Florida, California, whatever. You guys get the gist. All right, so you from Florida, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Who are your parents? You know what I mean? Okay, this is I come from my dad and I come from my mom. This is biologically, right? Not just geographically. Geographically, I come from Brooklyn. In terms of biology, I come from my mom, I come from my dad, right? And this is nothing wrong. Like, again, this is all correct. This is all correct. You know what I'm saying? But it's very limited in view. It's limited in sight. If I say, who are you? Right? So this is all about identifying. This is your true identity. So I guess the title of this video would be your true identity. Self. How do you identify? Right? How do you identify? You could say, okay, I'm a black male. I come from such and such. In terms of label, my name is this. This is the name that I've been given, right? So we have all these traits or features that identify who we are, right? Male, female, okay? My age, my race, my ethnicity. All of these serve as your identity. They make up who we are, your pedigree, right? Your stock. I come from this family. The names, the last name. My last name is this. Some of us have third, Marlon Cole the third, John Smith the third, the second, whatever. So they're all serving as identifiers to identify who we are, right? And then we have other things that identify who we are in terms of our personality, right? The things that we like, the things that we don't like, the things that our habits, all of them serve to make up who we are. And that's all fine. That's normal, it's natural, it's totally normal. But esoterically, again, that word esoteric, you're gonna hear me spit and spew that word out a lot. Because that word esoteric, again, for those who haven't heard me define it, it simply means deeper meaning behind what is exoteric. Exoteric is the opposite of esoteric. Exoteric is that which you can see. It's the imagery. It's the tangibility of things. That's the exoteric. It's the natural. It's what exoteric is perceived by your natural eyes, natural sight. Doesn't take anything deeper or any kind of insight to see exoterically. Esoterically is seeing what is behind the exoteric. Esoteric means you're looking behind the natural and you're extracting a deeper level. You're going into a deeper level, a deeper meaning, a deeper extrapolation. You're extrapolating and extracting deeper meanings, true and real meanings. That's the esoteric. So esoterically, where you are from is not where you're from. If you say you're from Brooklyn, or if you say you're from your mom or you're from your dad, you come out of this person or that person, that's not where you're from. You came through your mother, but you didn't come from your mother. You see what I'm saying? You came through your parents, but you didn't come from your parents. You hail out of Brooklyn. You reign out of Brooklyn, but you didn't come from Brooklyn. You came through. That's where you came through. That's the conduit. That's the highway. That's the channel. But you didn't come from. You see what I'm saying? You came through your parents, you didn't come from your parents. So then the question you got to ask yourself now, staying on the esoteric interpretation here, where are you really from? See, when you say you from Brooklyn, and we're just going to stay on Brooklyn for now because I'm parked right here on Eastern Parkway. I'm on Brooklyn. I'm in Brooklyn. When you say you from Brooklyn, and again, this is a analogy of something deeper and higher. All right, we're using simple terms to express and illustrate something of a much profound understanding. When you say you're from Brooklyn, what you are doing on a spiritual level or a subconscious level is you're localizing yourself. One, you're localizing yourself, meaning you are restricting and confining yourself to a specific area or geographical location. You're localizing yourself on a physical sense, but what you're not seeing, right, which is exoterically, what you're not seeing esoterically, when you say I'm from here, or I come from my parents, or I come from here, or I come from there, what you're doing esoterically is you are confining yourself to the natural laws of physics. You're confining yourself to the natural laws of physics. I'm going to say it again. You are restricting and confining yourself to the natural laws of physics, which translates to you confining and restricting yourself from spiritual enlightenment. You're confining and restricting yourself from spiritual evolution. You're confining and restricting yourself from higher states of consciousness and higher states of awareness. You're doing this on a subconscious, unknowing, unconscious level. You're not aware of this. You don't know you're doing this, but that's what you're doing. Because when you say, remember, every word that come out of your mouth will show up in your life. And I've been a witness to this. I've said so many things over the years and I've seen them show up in my life and I'm like, wow. You know what I mean? And it's been detrimental. It's been bad. It's like I said, we all cast spells on ourselves unknowingly. Every time you tell yourself you're broke, guess what? You're going to be broke. Every time you tell yourself you can't keep money, you live in check to check, you're going to keep living check to check. That's how your subconscious mind works. Whatever you speak, you're making an impression in your subconscious mind. And in previous videos, I told you, your subconscious mind is a creator. It does not distinguish nor discriminate as to whether it's creating good or it's creating bad. It simply takes what you say and creates it by attracting the conditions in your physical environment to manifest the things you're saying out of your mouth. And it doesn't show up right away. It shows up at an appointed time. But it shows up nonetheless. So when you say this is where I'm from, you're telling yourself subconsciously, this is it. This is it. I'm restricting myself to this local area on not just physically, but forget about the physical, because physically you can move. You can say, I'm from Brooklyn, but I live in Manhattan. I'm from Manhattan, but I live in Jersey. I'm from Jersey, but I live in Long Island. It doesn't matter. I'm not talking about because the physical means nothing. I told you in previous videos, material is not real. It means nothing. It's the offspring of the root. The material in your life, whatever that form or shape is the offspring of the root. And the root is your mind. And the subroot is the subconscious, which is subunits in your mind. And everything in your physical is simply the root. The offspring. And the offspring is the result, the byproduct, the outcome, the outer circumstances which again are reflections of the root, which is your heart. And anytime you hear the word heart, it's speaking of your subconscious thinking. So when you're saying you come from here, you're planting in your subconscious mind that your self-identity is restricted to here, but your true self-identity, see, let me say this, your physical body, right? We have this physical body. I could touch it. You can feel it, right? This is a physical body. My physical body, I can feel it. My physical body is not who I am. And not only it's not who I am, it's also just a layer of who I am. What I mean by that is this. You are a multi-dimensional species. This is not really taught in science, but it is and it's not. You're a multi-dimensional system, if you will, because we're all systems. And what I mean by that is, this is my physical body that is needed to operate in the physical realm. I'm in the realm of matter, so to operate with the laws of matter and be consistent with the laws of matter, I need a body made of matter. So my material body is my body made of matter that allows me to interact with matter. Now, you have what's called your ethereal body. Your ethereal body is a body that is made of an invisible substance that cannot be seen or touched or perceived by your five senses. Nevertheless, it is a body no different than your physical body. Your physical body eats physical food. Your immaterial body eats immaterial food. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. Let that sink in. So when you identify yourself from a material standpoint, that I am from here, this is my name, this is my race, this is my age, this is my this, that is all identifying your physical body. And there's nothing wrong with that, except you're ignoring your immaterial body, which is your true self-identity, which is your ethereal body. That's what the scientific community calls it. Your theological community calls it your spirit man. So when you identify that I'm from here, by default, you are confining and ignoring your true self-identity, which is identified with divine law, divine principles, and Christ consciousness itself, in and of itself. And there is a verse, I believe it's in Timothy. I think it's Timothy. Don't quote me. But it says, neglect not the spirit that is within you. Stir up the spirit that is within you. Stir it up. Don't neglect it. So when you identify that I'm from my parents, this is where I come from. And these are the loins I came from. This is my last name. This is the name that I come from. This is the state that I come from. This is the area that when you do that, you are simply gratifying, satisfying your physical and identifying your physical body. And again, by identifying only your physical body, you are neglecting and rejecting, subconsciously rejecting, neglecting, and ignoring your spirit body, your ethereal body, which is the root. The spirit man is the root. This is the offspring. What you can see, this video of me that you're seeing, is the offspring of the root. And if you ignore the root, then you ain't gonna get no good fruit. Peace.